The easiest way to undercut the front part of the boat is with a V-tool underneath here like this, pushing it in, pushing that under the prow of the boat there. And then getting less and less, a lighter cut as you come towards the line with the sea. This line here I've got is a lovely bit of grain. I'm going to keep that. If you haven't got that, then you'll need to put some sort of edge to the sea, very much like you're putting an edge to the planks inside the boat. In my case, if I put an edge along here, the shadow of the edge is going to fight with the shadow, the grain, the line of the grain. So I'm just going to leave that grain there where it is, because I think it's perfect. So we'll look at how that happens, what happens over here in a minute. But let's just go back to the front of the boat here, because we need to continue the undercutting this way as well. Underneath the prow of the boat. So tilt your, when you've got the waist out, you can tilt the tool here and cut back like this, cut right back. And then with a flat gouge you can finish off right underneath, so the boat is sitting on a nice flat bit of sand, and then this line now comes right back. So we're cutting in this side here, and eventually we'll cut back here, and this prow is going to be free at the back. So we'll do this bit first, and then we'll move on to that. Now when you get up to this corner here, you have to be quite careful, because this is short grain, and you might even choose to get a little saw in there and saw a little bit out with a coping saw. That's a skew chisel cutting the fibres there, and then a flat gouge with a corner, taking them out like that. With this top of the prow here, I'm going to make a cut sort of like that with a coping saw, using my finger to keep the blade in position while I make a little groove. Can run that down here like this. What that means is that this here, this bottom bit here, should now pop out. I'm careful. There. So that relieves the pressure and allows me to start taking away some of this wood a bit more easily, without fear of that bit popping off. So we'll continue the undercutting around the back, keeping it soft in the water. Then as the back of the boat lifts above, we can undercut more in here. V-tool to get the waist away. The gunnel overhangs a lot, so I need to cut that back. The skew chisel is probably a good tool here, because it's the right sort of shape for going round. So very much following the shape of the boat around, and then of course cleaning up this background here. So we're going to get a nice big overhang there eventually. So this line, rather this plane, just heads back behind the boat. So more overhang here. Bit tricky. I'm twisting the tool underneath like that, so it's actually turning upside down as we go through. This top edge here, I come this way down the back, because if we push against it here, we're liable to break off the wheat grain. So I'm going to get to the very edge, coming this way and down here. Using the same technique, I've pushed the V-tool along underneath, not too deep, but deep enough so that I can just tune this plane here, the plane of the sea, which has to follow through. We have to have a sense that the sea does naturally come behind, so it doesn't mean taking more off here, perhaps. And if I can't get at it, this is where again this spoon bent gouge will come in handy. But I think I should be able to do it mostly from the side. Elm's got a very tricky grain in that it keeps reversing direction. So across the grain with a slice like this will ultimately be the best way to deal with it.